it started snowballing. I was getting 5 orders a day, which was amazing, so exciting. Went to 10 orders, and then all of a sudden on the weekends, it went to about 30 orders a day. Just on the weekends, there was a big influx, and it just kept going. And I wasn't expecting it at all. It went to 50 orders a day, 60, 70 orders. Eventually, it went to over 100 orders a day. And I think this is in the span of just a couple of weeks. It went from like 0 to 100 a day.
What's up, guys? In today's video, we are joined by a special guest, Lorena. Lorena is a six-figure Etsy seller who I've had the opportunity to coach over the last year. She's had amazing success, especially during the Christmas season, and I thought it would be awesome to bring her on the channel to share her story. So, Lorena, for the people who are watching who maybe don't know you, could you introduce yourself and share a little bit of your story before you started on Etsy?
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, thank you so much for having me on here. It's a great pleasure to be part of your channel. Um, so I am Australian. I'm from Western Sydney. Um, I guess I'd say I'm a creative person. And so before my current Etsy shops, I've tried a couple of different things, including my own Shopify store. Was probably the first thing I went straight out of the gates of college. Was probably 20, 21 years old. Um, and that Shopify store was for handmade, made to order clothing. So I was sewing everything myself, doing all of the photo shoots myself, or organizing photo shoots, models, everything. It was a big gig. Um, Really fun, but um, definitely a lot. And so then after that, I did try a couple of things on Etsy, some personalized bachelorette items, just using my Cricut machine. So more hands-on creating things, time-consuming things, but fun. And I guess because I'm a creative person, I'm always making something, or I have the urge to make something, or I'm thinking about the next thing that I'm gonna make. Um, and so this was probably 2023. I was doing like bachelorette items on Etsy. And then when I was researching for that shop, I came across print on demand. Um, And then in 2024 is when I found Inner Circle Prints and Jessie, and when I started that journey. And now it's 2025, I've got two current Etsy shops that I'm working on, and all while working my full-time 9 to 5 job. So yeah.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing all that. I actually didn't know all of that story. I didn't know your entire background there, how you were selling those physical items. And honestly, it's kind of similar to my story, right? So you dabbled in like all those shirts and apparel, but doing it yourself. So you have a much different perspective than I think a lot of people who just jump right into print on demand. You know all the work that goes into it. So I guess going off of that, what like really inspired you to change directions there and kind of go all out on print on demand instead of that handmade or you fulfilling the items yourself?
Well, it seemed a lot easier in comparison, obviously, than making all of these things by hand. There was freedom, the idea of more freedom, can go wherever you want to go, and start whenever you want to start. And this is also talking about working full-time job as well. So the idea of that freedom with print on demand caught my attention. Um, but when I did first hear about it, I brushed it off. I was like not interested at all. I didn't want to do print on demand because I like making things with my own hands and creating something out of nothing, basically. And I thought that print on demand didn't have that. Um, but then I decided to give it a go one day because I thought I didn't have anything to lose. There's no inventory. So I kept seeing YouTube videos about it, and I watched more and more. Um, And then I did try it. I started it, a couple of t-shirts and jumpers. This is on an Australian market, so selling to Australians with Printify. But I didn't have any process or plan. I was just copying what the YouTube teachers were saying and kind of just putting my ideas out there that I thought looked nice. Um, but then, yeah, I found Jesse's program and I knew straight away that that was what I needed. It had a process, it had a method. Um, and that's how I got into print on demand.
Very cool. So that's another interesting point that you just mentioned there, right? So especially when you were selling your handmade items, obviously you were in the Australian market, but even when you first started print on demand, selling those shirts through Printify, you even started on the Australian market. And so that's very unique, I think, for most people who come to Etsy and print on demand. Most of the sellers, I would say, do sell in the US markets. So it's cool to hear that you did dabble and have some success in those international markets where you're from, right? And I
Yeah,
think the other cool thing that I want to highlight, you mentioned it, but you still work your full-time job, right? I think you're in like the banking industry, is that right?
yeah, that's
Cool. So I think a lot of people can relate to that, myself included, right? You work these crazy hours at your normal job, and in the meantime, in the early mornings, late nights, you're putting in those extra hours to build this side business just on the side, right? It usually starts as a side hustle, and that's exactly what you've done. And I've seen just how much work you're willing to put in, and it's really paid off. So I just really wanted to highlight that because I think most people probably watching this are in that similar position where they probably do have another job. They're trying to build this side business just like you're doing, just like we've done. And so, yeah, that's really cool that you have that same experience. So, fast forward a little bit, you sign up for Inner Circle Prints. You decided, hey, I'm going to go all out on print on demand, start selling in the US markets. Could you share maybe like a memorable moment when you kind of realized, hey, this is starting to take off. I'm starting to gain some traction and momentum here?
yes, definitely. It came out of nowhere. I really didn't see it coming at all, so it's definitely a memorable moment. Um, and I felt like it happened overnight, and I mean that kind of literally because of the time zone difference. The orders were coming through overnight while I'm asleep. So it was last last year, last Q4 2024, and that had only been a few months since starting the course. And so going into my first Christmas, I thought that I wasn't really going to get any sales, which was fine. I was happy with that. I was already proud of myself for starting this program and putting in the hard work. So I was okay if I didn't get anything for my first Christmas. Um, but then one day, I it started snowballing. I was getting 5 orders a day, which was amazing, so exciting. Went to 10 orders, and then all of a sudden on the weekends, it went to about 30 orders a day. Just on the weekends, there was a big influx. Um, and it just kept going, and I wasn't expecting it at all. It went to 50 orders a day, 60, 70 orders. Eventually, it went to over 100 orders a day. Um, and I think this is in the span of just a couple of weeks. It went from like 0 to 100 a day. Um, and it was amazing, very exciting, waking up, checking my phone, and there's all these orders to go through. But it was very stressful as well at the same time.
Yeah, so amazing and completely understand that overwhelming, stressful that time of year. But I really just want to highlight this, guys. Like you are hearing real story of someone who properly leveraged search volume, who took the time up front, didn't rush things, did it the right way. And then when that search volume started to increase, started to spike leading up to that Christmas season, she experienced like exponential growth in her shop. Like she said, 0 to 100 sales a day over the span of a couple weeks. And that's typical for Etsy sellers during Christmas when they do things the right way. And so, yeah, so amazing, so incredible. I remember going back and forth with you during that time, and just as the orders kept increasing and increasing, and like, when are they going to slow down? Like, how am I going to fulfill these orders? And so, how did you like balance managing your shop during this time? Because I would say that's what you experienced is a little bit extreme, right? To go that quickly from 0 to 100. It's amazing. Other people can absolutely experience that, but definitely very extreme. All while you're working your 9 to 5 job, you have all these other commitments. And so, like, how did you manage life during that time with everything going on?
Well, there wasn't any time for anything else besides work, like you said, my 9 to 5, and then fulfilling orders. But thankfully, so grateful I had my sister and my partner happy to help me. They both jumped in on it and helped me with the messages, and designs and fulfilling those orders. So they really helped me like tremendously. Um, and although with their help, it was still a lot. I had to get up at uh, probably 5 o'clock in the morning, get in a couple of hours before getting ready to go to work. And then as soon as I got home from work, back onto the orders. And this is until probably 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. again the next morning, just to get all these orders done. Um, and as well to help sort of with the influx, I did have to increase my prices a little bit, which was scary. I wasn't sure if it was something I should do, but I didn't want to disappoint any customers on being behind. So I ended up putting my prices up as well. And I was worried that that was going to ruin things for me, but surprisingly, I still got a lot of orders, with the higher price, which meant that I made more profit on those orders as well. So that worked out pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, and we won't go into too much detail, but like you had crazy profit margins. Like you were charging 2, 3 times maybe what the average market was charging, but you had some amazing products that were just selling like crazy, right? And it allowed you to scale your price as that daily order volume increased every day over that few week period or month period. And yeah, so it just highlights again the power of search volume. And like when you have a product, a winning product that people love, like they're going to want to buy it, and you can charge a premium if you have that amazing custom personalized product that people love. And that's exactly what you were able to do. And so that's super awesome. And so my next question is, how did one-on-one coaching through this whole process like help you? I know we were going back and forth throughout that whole time. It definitely is overwhelming, stressful during that first season that you experienced like that huge growth. And one thing I want to say before I let you answer, like you did all the work, right? So I don't want to take any credit away from you. Like you were the one who got up at 5 a.m., stayed up till 1 a.m. in the morning, fulfilling orders. You did all the upfront work. I was just there to like cheer you on and motivate you and maybe help guide you, steer you in the right direction. But yeah, how did one-on-one coaching work for you? How did that support you throughout the whole process?
Well, thank you for that. But I do think that having you there and having a one-on-one coach still, made a lot of difference. I don't think I would have gotten that much success without it. Um, and that's because just having someone there all the time, willing to help and answer my questions, no matter how big or how small, and no matter what time of the day, because of our time difference, um, I'd still get an answer reasonably quickly. And I think that helped a lot because it took away a lot of the little things that could hinder you from progressing. Sometimes we have little questions, they might be really small, but they could really halt the process. and stop you from continuing what you know you have to do. So having a one-on-one coach there just to help answer that, get that out of the way so you can keep going was amazing. Um, and I think in saying that, having all of the information you need, having a process, plan, a roadmap, and then having a coach there to help you, there's nothing to stop you from achieving your goals. Nothing but yourself, really, and the hard work that you put in. So, it's definitely been amazing to have you. So, thank you, Connor.
Yeah, of course. It's been awesome working with you. We've been able to work together over a year now, which is awesome. And I'm super excited to see you go into this next Christmas season because, in my experience, my own experience selling and then working with so many people now, that second Christmas season is like when you see huge growth, usually in an Etsy shop. And so you're kind of coming up on that second year. I know you sold previously other products and stuff, but specifically this shop, you're coming up on that second year. And so, yeah, super excited to see what you can do this coming Christmas season. I guess to back up a little bit, do you mind sharing some of the results that you saw last Christmas season in terms of revenue? I know you mentioned like that 0 to 100 orders over a very quick period, but do you remember like any of the stats in terms of revenue during that time?
Yeah, definitely. I it was the most orders that I got in one day was I think it was around 120 or
Wow,
123 orders was the highest that I got. And in that peak 30 days, I made over $90,000. And then all up for the Christmas Q4 season, it was over $112,000
amazing.
I got
So
achieved. Yeah.
incredible. Like some people dream of that for like a whole year, and you did it in 30 days, right? And so again, it just highlights like how crazy the Christmas season can be if you properly leverage that search volume and you do things the right way up front and spend that time preparing. And so, yeah, amazing job. I hope this motivates people out there because anyone really can do it, right? It takes a ton of hard work, like Lorena's talking about, those early mornings and those late nights, but anyone really can do it with the right guidance and just the hard work, determination, and grit. And so, thanks for sharing that, Lorena. If you could go back and like give yourself one piece of advice, like before you started, what would that be?
Probably to work even harder than I did. Um, just put your head down, work hard, and do your best because the more that you put in now, the more it's going to pay off later. Although I think I did work pretty hard, but I still think I could have worked even harder. So that'd probably be it.
Yeah, amazing. I think that's probably a common trait from most people, like most successful people. They always feel like they're not working hard enough, or that looking back they could have worked harder. Um, and I know I feel that way at times. I think that's what drives a lot of us, and so I think that's probably a big reason why you're so successful, right? You, in my opinion, you absolutely outworked most people. Like you're in the 1% of hardworking people. And so you even thinking that you could have done more is just amazing to hear. And so really cool, I think. Thanks for sharing that. I guess we talked a little bit about like heading into this next Q4 season where I expect you to just absolutely crush it and see that huge growth. I'm curious, like, what are your goals for the rest of this year in terms of your Etsy shop?
Well, my goal is to double, hopefully, um, what I made last Christmas. And to do that, I am listing my tumblers. So trying to get to about 260. So um, I've got a lot of work ahead to get there, but hopefully I'll get all of that done before the next Q4 and hopefully have a bit of time to optimize my listings from last Christmas as well. So. hopefully that takes me there to double my income there.
Amazing. I think you absolutely will do it. Like I said, I've seen it time and time again. This is the second year, especially, is when you typically see that huge growth. And so it wouldn't surprise me if we talk in 6 months from now and we're talking about the 2025 Christmas season. And you're like, I had 250 orders a day at peak. That wouldn't surprise me at all, or even 300, right? And so that's not out of the realm of possibility, especially with what you experienced last year. So super, super excited to see what you're going to do this year. Um, and yeah, maybe we'll have you back on in early next year after we get through that crazy Christmas season and you can fill everyone in how things went.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Cool. So I guess for someone who's thinking about one-on-one coaching, you talked a little bit about it, but maybe they're not sure. They're not sure if it's right for them. What would you say to someone like that who's interested?
Well, I would say if the opportunity is there for you, then I'll take it. But if you know that this is really what you want to do, and you know that you're willing to put in the hard work and show up every day, show up to your one-on-one coaching sessions, if you really think that you can do that, then I would take the opportunity to take on one-on-one coaching and you won't regret it. As we've mentioned, I don't think I would have gotten this far without it. So I'm really grateful that I had this opportunity. Definitely.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think, like I said, it's been so amazing working with you and with so many other people and just getting to be a very small part of your journey and helping you see that early success. It has been such a blessing for myself and Lauren too. So yeah, it's just been amazing getting to work with you guys. So thank you so much, Lorena, for coming on the channel. It's been amazing hearing more about your story. You shared some things that I hadn't even heard about yet, which is really cool to hear those earlier parts of your journey. For anyone out there who's watching, if you guys are interested in one-on-one coaching, I actually have 5 spots that I'm opening up this month in August. And so if you guys are interested in one-on-one coaching, there's going to be a link down in the description so you guys can apply there. And by the way, I'm only looking for people who are serious about this, just like Lorena said, right? And just like she highlighted, I only want to work with people who want to work hard, who are going to take this serious, who want to turn it into a real business. And so if you're one of those people, if you want to take it to the next level or you're interested in that, there's a link down in the description. But thank you so much, Lorena, for coming on the channel and look forward to having you again after this next Christmas season.
Thank you so much for having me.